I am in Delhi's iconic business center. This place has seen so much of history and has evolved through time. But it still has that old school charm, much like the bike that I have brought here today. The BMW R18. Today, this place is not just about history. It is home to one of the biggest and the busiest metro stations in our country. And much like this place, the design of this motorcycle harks back to yesteryears, and yet it is loaded with technology, and it is home to the biggest boxer engine that BMW has ever made. This is BMW's first cruiser in almost 2 decades. Its design is inspired by the iconic R5 from 1936. The R18 evokes nostalgia in a way very few can, and the design is not where it stops. The 1800cc boxer engine has push rods that give it a very strong old school character. The swing arm looks like it is part of the double cradle steel frame, and with the concealed rear monoshock, the bike gets a hardtail look. The fishtail design of the exhaust is not merely a cover over standard pipes. These are the actual pipes and they sound glorious. But the coolest piece of retro on the R18 is the open shaft drive. This fuel tank can take up to 16 liters of petrol, and when it is full, this bike weighs a whopping 345 kgs. Now, it should not be any surprise if it feels heavy lifting off the stand. But one of the main advantages of having a boxer engine is that it can carry its weight low in the belly of the bike. The R18 may be a cruiser with less than 100 horsepower, but it makes a solid 158 Nm of torque. So it's not exactly an idiot-proof easy motorcycle to control. It takes a few minutes, few turns and U-turns to understand how the bike responds to your inputs and to the forces generated by that engine boxing between your legs. Unlike a conventional V-twin or a parallel twin, when you pull the throttle of a boxer, it throws the bike to its left at standstill and even at slow speeds of about 10 km an hour. It can also make right-hand U-turns a bit tricky if the rider is not careful. For a bike that weighs 345 kg, the R18 handles itself pretty damn well on the road. I am not going to suggest that this is an agile or a sporty cruiser, but its dynamics are very respectable. The chassis and suspension do an excellent job of keeping the bike well balanced at all time, irrespective of the road surface. The handling is sublime and graceful. Even at slow pace, the bike is very easy to manage. The bike flows from corner to corner with confidence and cruises down the straight with stability that only a good frame and suspension can provide. But make no mistake, this is a heavy bike, but one that can handle itself in tight spaces. Back in the city, it won't back down, but it needs a rider who understands its dynamics and is ready to put in some physical effort. As I said, this is not an agile bike, but it will do the effort if you are willing to, and when you do, it is a very rewarding and highly engaging experience. The boxer engine elevates the experience even more. The fueling is perfect and the engine can scoot around at as low as 1200 rpm. It delivers a minimum of 150 Nm of torque from 2000 rpm, so there is an abundance of grunt available when you want it. At low RPMs the engine is quiet and calm, but rev it over 2000 rpm and it becomes visceral and loud, as if it has two different personalities. The R18 is elegant. Its charm lies in the simplicity of its design. The bodywork is minimal, and despite loads of high quality chrome, that engine is the real head turner. Everything on the bike oozes quality and has great fit and finish. But there is one thing to consider, especially for taller riders. Because of the cylinders, there is no way or option to have forward foot controls. Now that may not be an issue for shorter rides, but for long rides and touring, you may prefer an option to stretch your legs. I personally don't care about this one because the ergonomics are perfectly fine for me. All the foot and hand controls are perfectly placed to feel comfortable. What I really care about is how the bike made me feel. The R18's excellent manners in the city were helped by a very good clutch that didn't bother me at all no matter the traffic conditions. The brakes are solid and require just a 2-finger squeeze most of the time. Back in the city, it went over countless speed breakers of different shapes and sizes and only managed to touch one. Today, most modern cruisers are excellent on the highway and the R18 is no exception. Its stability is solid and the ride quality is good. For me, the real testament of a big cruiser is a ride in the congestion of the city's rush hour. And here the R18 was faultless. It was comfortable, responsive, eager to play and not stressful at all, even with that weight and bulk. The R18 has done something more. It has busted my belief that big heavy cruisers don't belong in the city. As much as it was fun cruising down the highway, it was epic filtering through the traffic, shooting through the gaps and making the commuters wonder how can such a big and heavy motorcycle outpace them on the streets that they rule. It is a testament of how well balanced the bike is, that even in heavy traffic it won't bother you with its weight. And I haven't even spoken about the engine heat till now. I will only say this, I rode the bike multiple times a day every day in heavy traffic and I never noticed enough heat from the engine to make me uncomfortable. There is a general perception that big heavy cruisers like this one don't belong in the city, and for a long time I believed it too, but I don't anymore. Riding the R18 in traffic has been satisfying and exciting at the same time. Working it in the traffic and seeing it respond to the inputs was very exciting. I think one of the main reasons why we believe that these cruisers don't work in the city is because of their customer base, more so here in India. Here we see most of these motorcycles being used for the leisure rides over the weekends and nothing more. There are definitely motorcycles that don't work very well in one scenario or the other. But we have to stop judging these bikes, or any bike for that matter, for how they are used by others. The BMW R18 is a beautifully built motorcycle. Its old school character is mated with excellent riding dynamics that come only with modern engineering, and it deserves your undivided attention.